Commander Maya Patel stood motionless in the heart of Artemis Base, Earth's hidden command center buried deep beneath the lunar surface. Her dark eyes fixed on the quantum display filling the circular chamber's walls, tracking thousands of light signatures approaching from the outer solar system. The Nexus Collective's invasion fleet had finally arrived, just as humanity had predicted 3 centuries ago. Signal confirmed, Commander. Lieutenant Raj Kumar reported from his station, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. 87 vessels matching known collective configurations. They're maintaining standard approach vectors, completely unaware of our presence. Maya allowed herself a small smile. For 300 years, humanity had prepared for this moment, watching from the shadows as the Nexus Collective expanded across the galaxy. While Earth projected the image of a primitive civilization barely capable of reaching its own moon, underground cities and orbital habitats housed billions. While the collective scouts observed ancient chemical rockets and outdated satellites, quantum shipyards constructed fleets of advanced warships hidden within dimensional pockets. Status of Operation Mirage? Maya asked, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. All surface installations maintaining primitive signatures, Captain Olivia Chen responded, monitoring the complex web of technological deception that had fooled the galaxy for centuries. Holographic projectors are functioning perfectly. They're seeing exactly what we want them to see: pollution, poverty, and primitive technology. The Collective's invasion fleet moved with practiced precision, their massive ships gleaming with artificial suns and crystalline weapons. They had performed this dance countless times across the galaxy, arrive in overwhelming force, offer false diplomacy, then subjugate any civilization that refused their benevolent rule. But humanity had studied every conquest, documented every atrocity, and prepared countermeasures for every tactic. Maya activated her neural link to the quantum network, connecting instantly with defense installations hidden throughout the solar system. Initialize Shadow Protocol Alpha. Let's give our visitors their show. Across Earth's surface, carefully orchestrated scenes began to play out. Nations scrambled obsolete military forces in manufactured panic. News networks broadcast emergency meetings of world leaders, their deliberate confusion designed to feed the Collective's superiority complex. Incoming transmission, Lieutenant Kumar announced. The Collective's flagship is broadcasting their standard first contact message. Multiple frequencies, including several they think we haven't discovered yet. Right on schedule, Maya murmured. She turned to address the command center's crew, each member representing humanity's true technological advancement. Remember this moment. For 3 centuries, we've hidden in plain sight, learning their weaknesses, preparing our defenses. The Collective thinks they're about to begin another routine conquest. Instead, they're about to learn why humanity chose to remain hidden for so long. The main display shifted to show the Collective's diplomatic shuttle launching from their flagship. Its crystalline hull sparkled with artificial magnificence, a calculated display of technological superiority that had cowed countless civilizations into submission. Maya watched it descend toward the United Nations building in New York, knowing that every movement, every communication, every energy signature was being analyzed by systems far beyond the Collective's comprehension. Ambassador Rodriguez is in position, Captain Chen reported. The diplomatic team is ready to execute Phase 2. Maya nodded, her thoughts turning to the centuries of preparation that had led to this moment. The Collective's arrogance had always been their greatest weakness. They couldn't conceive that a primitive civilization might choose to appear weak, might spend generations preparing in secret, might have technology that surpassed their own. Signal the Ghost Fleet, Maya ordered. Operation Phantom Dawn is now active. Throughout the solar system, invisible sensors track the Collective's every move. Hidden weapon platforms powered up, their existence masked by technology so advanced it would seem like magic to their invaders. Quantum computers processed vast streams of tactical data, preparing to turn the Collective's own systems against them. The diplomatic shuttle disappeared into Earth's atmosphere, carrying representatives of an empire that thought itself invincible. Maya allowed herself one final moment of reflection. The collective expected to find another primitive world ripe for conquest. Instead, they were about to discover that humanity's apparent weakness had been its greatest deception, a spider's web 3 centuries in the making, waiting for its prey to make that fatal first move. "Send word to all commands," Maya announced, her voice carrying the authority of someone who had trained their entire life for this moment. "Operation Silent Guardian is now active. May our ancestors forgive us for what we must do to prevent their mistakes from being repeated across the stars." As klaxons sounded throughout the hidden base, Maya Patel prepared to oversee humanity's emergence from the shadows. The time for hiding was over. The galaxy was about to learn why Earth had chosen to remain silent for so long, not out of fear, but out of mercy. Ambassador Marcus Rodriguez adjusted his simple gray suit as he watched the Nexus Collective's delegation enter the United Nations chamber. Their biomechanical bodies gleamed with artificial enhancements, ceremonial armor draped in pulsing energy fields that screamed technological superiority. Everything about them was calculated to intimidate, to remind lesser species of their place in the galactic hierarchy. "Quantum archive ready," whispered Diana Foster, his diplomatic aide, her neural implant hidden beneath an outdated Bluetooth earpiece. In her briefcase, a quantum core contained centuries of documented collective atrocities, each one meticulously gathered by humanity's deep-cover operatives. The collective's chief emissary, High Speaker Vex Thor, strode forward. The alien's crystalline exoskeleton refracted light in hypnotic patterns, a biological display meant to command attention and inspire awe. The massive screens behind the delegation flickered to life, showing carefully curated images of prosperous collective worlds. "People of Earth," the translation matrix conveyed Vex Thor's words in perfect English, "we come bearing gifts of advancement and protection. The Nexus Collective welcomes developing civilizations into our embrace, offering technological elevation in exchange for peaceful integration into our grand society." Marcus rose slowly, his movements deliberately measured. Every gesture, every step had been choreographed to project quiet confidence rather than the fearful respect the collective expected. He could see their subtle reactions, the slight shifts in their bioluminescent patterns, the microscopic adjustments of their sensory arrays. They were already confused by his lack of appropriate terror. "High Speaker Vex Thor," Marcus began, his voice carrying naturally without technological assistance, "before you continue, I believe we should discuss the Rigel massacre." The alien's crystalline structure flickered in surprise, then confusion. "I'm not familiar with." 273 years ago, Marcus continued as the screens behind him came alive with archived footage, "your peacekeeping fleet reduced the Rigel colonies to atomic ash because they refused to surrender their agricultural automation networks. We watched it happen." The chamber erupted in controlled chaos as the screens displayed crystal-clear images of collective warships delivering their version of peaceful integration. Vex Thor's fellow emissaries shifted uncomfortably, their carefully maintained composure cracking. Or perhaps, Marcus's tone remained conversational, "We should examine the neural harvesting of the Centauri worlds? The genetic purification of the Arcturus Republic? The systematic destruction of the Pleiades Federation's cultural archives?" With each named atrocity, more footage appeared. More evidence materialized. More proof that humanity had been watching, documenting, and preparing. The collective's delegation huddled together, their private communications betrayed by the subtle fluctuations in their energy fields. "These are fabrications," Vex Thor declared, but his translator couldn't hide the tremor in his harmonic frequencies. "Your civilization lacks the capability to maintain cloaked observation posts throughout your territory?" Marcus interrupted with a small smile. "To intercept your quantum transmissions? To preserve the history you've tried so hard to erase?" He gestured to the screens now showing tactical data of collective fleet movements spanning centuries. "We've been watching you, High Speaker. We've documented every conquest, every subjugation, every act of imperial expansion disguised as benevolent integration. In the Lunar Command Center, Commander Maya Patel watched the diplomatic feed with satisfaction. The collective's fleet is adjusting position, Lieutenant Kumar reported. Their weapon systems are powering up. Right on schedule, Maya responded. They always resort to force when their lies are exposed. Signal Ambassador Rodriguez, initiate Phase 3. Back in the UN chamber, Marcus could see the collective's masks of diplomacy crumbling. Their encrypted channels were undoubtedly flooding with demands for immediate military intervention. Time to spring the final diplomatic trap. This is your only warning, Marcus's voice hardened. Leave this solar system. Never return. What you think you see here, a primitive world ripe for conquest, is nothing but a carefully crafted illusion. Test us, and you will understand why humanity chose to remain hidden for so long. He turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and High Speaker? The next time your strategic council meets in the quantum vault beneath New Damascus, they might want to discuss the surveillance probes we've placed in every major collective facility. We're particularly interested in the contents of Deep Archive Station 9. The alien's crystalline form went dark, the equivalent of blood draining from a human's face. Deep Archive Station 9 was supposed to be a myth, its very existence known only to the highest levels of collective leadership. As Marcus walked out of the chamber, leaving the collective's representatives in stunned silence, he activated his neural link. Commander Patel, diplomatic phase complete. They'll never believe us. They never do, Maya replied, her voice carrying grim satisfaction. That's exactly what we're counting on. Prepare for Phase 4, the collective's pride always drives them to violence. Time to show them why that was their final mistake. In orbit, the collective's fleet began to move, their massive ships shifting into attack formation. They were about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology or firepower, it was the absolute certainty that their enemies would act exactly as expected. Dr. Victor Kane stood in the depths of Mount Cheyenne's Quantum Defense Center, his weathered face illuminated by the glow of tactical holograms. The collective's fleet hung in high orbit, their massive ships arranged in textbook attack formation. 300 years of preparation were about to be put to the test. They're broadcasting their ultimatum, reported Technical Director Amara Okafor, her neural implants processing the flood of incoming data. Standard surrender demands, threatening immediate planetary bombardment. Victor allowed himself a thin smile. Send the evacuation confirmation signal. Let's show them what they expect to see. Across Earth's surface, carefully crafted holograms depicted panicked civilians rushing to inadequate shelters. Military bases scrambled obsolete aircraft, their radar signatures precisely calibrated to match the collective's expectations of a pre-FTL civilization. Collective weapons powering up, Amara announced. Energy signatures match their standard planetary assault configuration. Initiate quantum web protocol, Victor ordered. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations hummed to life. Technology that had remained dormant for centuries activated, weaving an invisible net of quantum entanglement around the collective's fleet. The aliens' first strike descended upon Earth with devastating force. Massive energy beams struck major cities simultaneously, generating spectacular explosions visible from orbit. To the collective sensors, it appeared their attack had succeeded perfectly. Holographic overlay performing at 100%, reported Systems Chief Miguel Torres. Environmental simulators are replicating expected destruction patterns. The collective sensors are registering exactly what we want them to see. In reality, Earth's true population centers had long since relocated to vast underground complexes and dimensional pocket spaces. The cities above were elaborate props, maintained for centuries as part of humanity's greatest deception. Commander Patel is signaling from Lunar Command, Amara said. Ghost Fleet is in position. Authorization to proceed with Phase 4. Victor activated his neural link to the Global Defense Network. This is Dr. Kane. Execute Protocol Quantum Snare. Authorization Echo 9 Delta. Across the globe, hidden quantum matrices began their calculated disruption of the collective sensor networks. Slowly, subtly, their targeting systems began to drift. Their readings became unreliable. Their vaunted technology started to betray them. Their second wave is launching, Amara reported, excitement creeping into her voice. Impact trajectories are scattering. Nothing within 100 kilometers of their intended targets. The quantum interference is working perfectly, Victor nodded. Now, let's add to their confusion. Launch the phantom swarms. From concealed silos across the planet's surface, millions of quantum-shifted drones took flight. To the collective's increasingly unreliable sensors, they appeared as primitive nuclear missiles, exactly the kind of desperate last resort they'd expect from a dying civilization. Their fleet is breaking formation, Miguel announced. Ships are attempting to intercept the phantom swarms, but their targeting systems are completely compromised. We're seeing collisions as their navigation systems fail. In orbit, chaos erupted as the mighty collective fleet found itself fighting an enemy they couldn't properly see or target. Their sophisticated weapons, designed to overwhelm any known defense, were useless against technology that shouldn't exist. Signal from Captain Zhang, Amara reported. Ghost Fleet is beginning their approach. The collective sensors are too compromised to detect them. Victor watched as humanity's true warships emerged from their quantum shadows. Vessels that had never appeared on any sensor, crewed by soldiers who had trained their entire lives in secret, now moved into attack position around the disoriented collective fleet. Their command ships are attempting to coordinate a response, Miguel said. But our quantum interference is preventing any coherent communication between their vessels. Send word to Commander Patel, Victor ordered. Phase 4 is complete. The collective's fleet is exactly where we want them, trapped in high orbit, their systems compromised, their formation broken. They're ready for Phase 5. On his tactical display, Victor watched as Captain Arya Zhang's ghost fleet moved into position. The collective had come expecting to find primitive warriors with nuclear weapons and chemical rockets. Instead, they were about to learn why humanity had spent centuries preparing in secret. Their flagship is attempting to launch escape pods, Amara noted. They're finally realizing this isn't a standard conquest. After 3 centuries of watching them subjugate other worlds, Victor said quietly, it's time they learned what it feels like to be truly outmatched. Signal all commands, Operation Thunderbolt is now active. As humanity's hidden fleet prepared to strike, Victor thought about all the civilizations that had fallen to the collective's false promises and overwhelming force. Today, humanity would emerge from the shadows not just to defend Earth, but to begin the liberation of every world the collective had conquered. The spider's web had been woven over centuries, each strand carefully placed, each trap meticulously prepared. Now, as the collective thrashed helplessly in humanity's snare, it was time to show the galaxy that the age of conquest was over. Captain Arya Zhang stood on the bridge of the Ghost Fleet flagship Spectre, watching as the massive holographic display showed the collective's fleet in disarray. Their once perfect formation had devolved into chaos, ships colliding as their navigation systems fought against humanity's quantum interference. All Ghost Fleet vessels report ready, First Officer Nathan Rivera announced, his neural implants synchronized with the fleet's quantum network. Phantom protocols are maintaining full stealth coverage. The collective still has no idea we're here. Arya nodded, her expression focused. For 15 years, she had commanded ships that officially didn't exist, leading crews who had trained their entire lives in secret. Now, surrounded by the most advanced fleet humanity had ever built, she was about to reveal just how far Earth's technology had progressed. Status of the collective flagship, she asked. Still trying to coordinate their fleet, Tactical Officer Kira Yamamoto reported. Their quantum communications are completely scrambled by our interference grid. They're resorting to primitive light-based signals. Time to add another layer to their confusion, Arya decided. Initialize Operation Ghostlight. Throughout the Ghost Fleet, quantum drives hummed to life. Technology that had been developed in absolute secrecy began to bend reality itself. The Spectre and its sister ships didn't just become invisible, they created false images of themselves, phantom vessels that could appear and disappear at will. Multiple collective vessels are attempting emergency FTL jumps, Nathan reported. Their drive signatures are destabilizing due to quantum interference. As expected, Arya smiled grimly. They can't escape through hyperspace when they can't even trust their own sensor readings. Deploy the quantum mines. From the Ghost Fleet's holds, thousands of microscopic devices emerged. Each one was a marvel of engineering, capable of generating localized fields of quantum disruption. They spread through space like an invisible net, waiting to snare any ship that tried to flee. Collective Flagship is launching fighters, Kira announced. Looks like they're trying to establish a physical perimeter since their sensors can't be trusted. Perfect. Arya leaned forward. Time to show them what we can really do. All Ghost Fleet vessels, execute attack pattern Wraith. Quantum weapons free. The Ghost Fleet moved with perfect coordination, their crews linked by neural networks far more advanced than anything the collective possessed. Phantom images appeared and disappeared around the enemy fleet, drawing fire and causing confusion. Where the collective expected to find empty space, they suddenly faced advanced warships. Where they detected targets, they found only quantum echoes. Their fighter screen is collapsing, Nathan reported. They're firing blindly now, trying to hit targets they can't properly track. Signal from Lunar Command, Kira interrupted. Commander Patel authorizes final phase of Operation Thunderbolt. Arya took a deep breath. This was the moment humanity had prepared for across generations. Initialize Quantum Cascade Protocol. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum generators activated simultaneously. The technology, developed through centuries of secret research, didn't just disrupt the collective systems, it reached into their ships through their own quantum fields, turning their power sources against them. Collective vessels are losing power, Kira reported, excitement in her voice. Their quantum cores are going into cascade failure. Emergency systems are failing faster than they can reroute power. On the tactical display, Arya watched as the mighty collective fleet began to go dark. Ships that had conquered countless civilizations now drifted helplessly, their advanced technology rendered useless by humanity's preparation and ingenuity. Their flagship is trying to broadcast, Nathan said. They're attempting to surrender. After all the civilizations they've destroyed? Arya's voice was steel. All the cultures they've erased? Signal Commander Patel. Tell her the Ghost Fleet stands ready to execute the final phase of Operation Liberation. As the collective's ships drifted powerless in space, humanity's true fleet emerged fully from the quantum shadows. The message was clear, Earth could have destroyed them at any time, but chose instead to demonstrate just how completely outmatched they were. We're receiving transmissions from other collective fleets across the galaxy, Kira reported. Word of their defeat is spreading. Multiple occupied worlds are reporting uprisings against collective control. Arya allowed herself a small smile. 3 centuries of hiding, watching, and preparing. Today, humanity doesn't just defend Earth, we begin the liberation of every world the collective has enslaved. The Ghost Fleet moved into final attack position, their quantum weapons primed. The age of conquest was ending, and a new era of liberation was about to begin. Humanity had emerged from the shadows not as victims, but as the guardians the galaxy had needed for so long. Admiral Thomas Blackwood stood before the massive window in the newly revealed Terran Command Center on Mars, watching as the last collective surrender ships were escorted into quarantine orbits. After 3 centuries of hiding, humanity had finally stepped into the light, not as another conquered civilization, but as the force that broke the collective's iron grip on the galaxy. Final reports coming in from the Liberation fleets, General Sofia Martinez announced, her neural interface streaming real-time data from across known space. 87 collective-controlled worlds have declared independence in the past 48 hours. Their defense grids are being reconfigured with our quantum protection protocols. Thomas nodded, his weathered face reflecting both satisfaction and solemn responsibility. And the collective leadership? Most are in custody, Sophia replied. Their quantum vault on New Damascus has been secured. Dr. Kane's team is already analyzing centuries of hidden records, evidence of atrocities even we didn't know about. The Admiral turned to face the assembled command staff, each member representing a different aspect of humanity's long preparation. 300 years ago, our ancestors made a choice. When they first detected the collective's expansion, they could have revealed Earth's true potential, could have fought them directly. Instead, they chose patience. They chose to watch, to learn, and to prepare. On the massive displays surrounding them, footage streamed in from across the galaxy. Freed worlds celebrating their liberation. Collective prison camps being dismantled. Ghost fleet vessels emerging from quantum shadows to protect newly independent civilizations. Status report from Ambassador Rodriguez, Captain Zhang's hologram appeared in the chamber. The Galactic Council is in emergency session. Several former collective client states are requesting Earth's protection and technological assistance. Send them our standard response, Thomas instructed. We'll help them rebuild, but we won't replace one empire with another. Earth's role is to protect independence, not to rule. Commander Patel's hologram joined the discussion from Lunar Command. The quantum encryption protocols are being distributed to all liberated worlds. The collective's remaining fleets won't be able to re-establish control without completely rebuilding their technology base. Thomas moved to the central strategic display, where a 3-dimensional map showed the rapidly changing political landscape of known space. Begin Phase 2 of Operation New Dawn. It's time to reveal the rest of humanity's gifts to the galaxy. Throughout the solar system, massive quantum gates began to power up. Technology that humanity had developed not just for war, but for healing. Medical databases that could cure diseases that had plagued conquered worlds for generations. Agricultural systems that could end famines. Clean energy solutions that could restore polluted planets. Signal from the Arcturus Republic, Sophia reported. Their scientists have successfully integrated our quantum shields. Their world is now fully protected from any future collective aggression. The Pleiades Federation is requesting assistance rebuilding their cultural archives, Captain Zhang added. Apparently, we managed to preserve copies of data the collective thought they had destroyed centuries ago. Thomas smiled. This was always the true purpose of humanity's long preparation, not just to defeat the collective, but to ensure no empire could ever again threaten the freedom of other civilizations. Message from Earth Prime, Sophia announced. They're ready for your address to the galaxy. Thomas straightened his uniform and faced the quantum transmission array. After centuries of silence, it was time for humanity to explain its actions to the stars. To all sentient beings across known space, he began, his voice carrying to thousands of worlds. For 300 years, Earth has watched from the shadows as the collective expanded through force and fear. We chose to hide not out of weakness, but because we saw 2 possible futures. One where we fought them immediately, leading to a devastating war that would have scarred the galaxy. And another where we prepared in secret, developing the means to not just defeat them, but to ensure such empires could never rise again. He paused, letting the weight of the moment sink in. Today, we emerge not as conquerors, but as guardians. The technology we've developed will be shared with all peaceful worlds. The knowledge we've preserved will be returned to its rightful owners. The protections we've created will ensure that no civilization need ever fear conquest again. Across the galaxy, billions of beings watched as humanity finally revealed its true nature. They had expected Earth to become another empire. Instead, they found partners in preserving freedom and independence. The age of empires is over, Thomas declared. The age of collaboration and mutual protection begins. Earth stands ready to help all peaceful civilizations rebuild, restore, and protect themselves. We hidden ourselves once to prepare for this day. We will never hide again. In the command center, the staff watched as responses flooded in from across known space. Messages of gratitude, requests for assistance, offers of alliance. Humanity had emerged from its long silence not as another force of conquest, but as the protectors the galaxy had needed for so long. Signal the Ghost Fleet, Thomas ordered. Operation Silent Guardian is complete. Operation New Dawn begins now. The real work of healing the galaxy starts today. As Earth's hidden fleets emerged across known space, as quantum shields activated around formerly helpless worlds, as lost knowledge was restored to grateful civilizations, humanity's true victory became clear. They had won not just through superior technology or military might, but through the patience to prepare, the wisdom to wait, and the compassion to use their power not for dominion, but for liberation.